Hello y'all and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video I just wanted to go over the uniqueness of Republicans, of New England Republicans and Southern Democrats in the 21st century. So I'm not going back, to the 1960s, 1970s where Republicans had a bunch of stuff in the north and Democrats had a bunch of stuff in the south. I'm going to today where we have New England Republicans and Southern Democrats. Now, going to the notable actions from the New England governors. This is Phil Scott of Vermont. I know, Vermont. Charlie Baker of Massachusetts and Kirsten Sinema of New Hampshire. This guy is the Roy Cooper of North Carolina, John Bel Edwards of Louisiana, and Andy Beshear of Kentucky. I forgot his name for a second, but Andy Beshear of Kentucky. Now, Phil Scott, he actually, I'm not going to read out all of this of what Kirsten Sinema did, but let's just say, Kirsten Sinema is the most quote-unquote right-leaning governor of New England Republicans, because he just is. Charlie Baker is really not a Republican at all. Phil Scott he's been kind of a Republican on economic issues, but not on social issues, obviously because you're in Vermont. And Kirsten Sinema has been the most right wing, but more in a libertarian sense. Phil Scott didn't initially want to call a special session to implement vaccine mandates. I don't believe he even wants vaccine mandates, but he'll do it and he'll sign it because the Vermont legislature is veto-proof majority, in the number of Democrats and even Vermont progressives, which are a thing. He also vetoed a marijuana legalization bill. Fun. Kirsten Sinema did all of this, and you can read it. But some notable things is that he basically wanted to decrease taxes. Apparently he signed into law constitutional carry in New Hampshire, opposed to marijuana legalization. Oh my goodness. Vetoed an energy bill because it said it would cost New Hampshire citizens too much. Stuff like that. He wants low spending, low taxes, the whole thing. Notable actions from Southern Democrats being John Bel Edwards. Basically, all of these. John Bel Edwards was very into LGBT protections in Louisiana. Signed executive order protecting LGBT people from unlawful harassment or firing due to their identity in state agencies. Also an exception for religion. Rescinded a predecessor's executive order which allowed businesses to discriminate against LGBT people. They also like to adopt Medicaid expansion. That's also it's not a Southern Democrat, but she's not a Southern Democrat, but the Kansas governor also opened up and adopted Medicaid expansion to Kansas. But anyways, and fought for and got a pay raise for all Louisiana teachers. So John Bel Edwards, very into the LGBT movement. He's helped to give them protections. Also adopted Medicaid expansion, which, like I said earlier, that's very big for Democrats in Republican states. Andy Beshear, he did a lot of stuff with COVID. I don't like it, but he did a bunch of stuff with locking down schools and people not being able, and dispatched state officers to record the license plates of those who violated his stay-at-home order to attend Easter Sunday church service in April 2020. Spoke in support of universal health care for all Black Americans. Ordered public and private schools to close when COVID cases are increasing in November 2020. Also vetoed a pro-life bill. So out of all of these, Andy Beshear is probably the most left-wing out of the North Carolina, Louisiana, and Kentucky governors. But that also makes sense because he's not a part of the Deep South. He's in that weird he's in that weird borderline between the South and the North, like the South and the Rust Belt. He's just outside the Rust Belt, but he's also at the fringes / or whether you consider him just outside of and Kentucky being just outside of the South. But anyways, Roy Cooper of North Carolina vetoed many bills, including reducing the Court of Appeals to 3 justices, establishing a board of elections made up of equal partisan control, loosening of campaign finance laws, jail time for doctors who don't attempt to resurrection to babies that survive abortions. So I didn't really see, I don't believe I saw that much. I didn't see that much on Roy Cooper actually advocating and signing into things that are more left wing, but he just vetoes a bunch of stuff that he doesn't want. So that's something. Oh, why did I do that? But yeah. And then summary: New England Republicans are fiscally right wing and socially moderate to left wing. I say moderate in the case of Chris Sununu, but left wing in Vermont and Massachusetts, except for Phil Scott vetoing marijuana legalization. That's something him and Chris Sununu both agree on it. Anyways, Southern Democrats are fiscally left wing and socially center to left wing. Because none of them are socially right wing, they're just probably more moderate when it comes to social issues. In reality, Southern Democrats are probably fiscally center and socially left wing, center to left wing. But anyways, I also made this slide and this presentation like a week plus ago, so I don't remember. I remember making it, but very loosely. Anyways, so the Deep South, that's what I was talking about, the Deep South. And John Bel Edwards is the only one in the Deep South to actually be a Democrat and be the governor there. And then Kentucky is to this map, it's right outside, but I still consider Kentucky. It's like not a part of, just like how Kentucky and Virginia are kind of in the same boat, where they're not a part of the Rust Belt, but they're also not really a part of the South. So it's like that weird border states, which is the same thing that happened during the Civil War. Some border states decided not to go and fight for the Confederates and decided to go for the Union. But anyways, that was my little video, and I will see you. Oh, I think one of my next videos will be about redistricting, an update to redistricting, and something, and I think it's a possible 2024 run for Trump. It's a video that I want to make, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.